Patriots number 4, Casey Long. Musselman's number 11, Jada Gunn, will meet at half court with Patriots number 12, Maisie Bishop. Musselman's number 13, Amaya King, will meet at half court with George Washington's number DeLuca will meet at half court with George Washington's number 21, Tylee Barton. Musselman's number 21, Keely Chrisman, meeting at half court with the Lady Patriots number 24, Maddie Sosby. Musselman's number 22, Sarah Price, meeting at half court with George Washington's number 30, Meg Smith. Musselman's number 23, Kiera Petrie, meeting at half court with the Lady Patriots number 32, Macy Mallory. And Musselman's number 32, Peyton Smith. And number 50, Brianna Banjoman, will meet at half court with the Lady Patriots number 33, Leah Hostin. And now for your starting lineups for this game. For Musselman, a 5'8", junior number 2, Nevaeh Thompson, will meet at half court with the Patriots 5'5", freshman number 1, Rayana Breckenridge. Lady Appleman's 5'4", senior number 4, Sierra Puller, will meet at half court with the Lady Patriots 5'6", freshman number 2, Jariah Pryor. Lady Appleman number 5'5", freshman number 5, Emily Stevens, meeting at half court with Lady Patriots 5'11", senior number 5, Finley Lowen. Musselman 6'1", senior number 12, Larkin Walker, will meet at half court with George Washington 6' junior number 10, Sia Smith. And Lady Appleman 6' junior number 15, Jasmine Morris, will meet at half court with Lady Patriots 6'2", junior number 44, Zanaya Zealous. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your teams. We are now ready to play some basketball.
Back inside the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center, Indoor Air is a proud sponsor of high school sports in West Virginia. For all of your heating and cooling needs, call Indoor Air at 304-890-2212. Indoor Air is your Amana dealer. For Musselman, Nevaeh Thompson, Sierra Puller, Emily Stevens, Larkin Walker, and Jasmine Morris. For GW, Rayana Breckenridge, Jariah Pryor, Finley Lowen, Sia Smith, and Zanaya Zealous. And right off the bat, Maris Lowry wasting zero time off the tip.
You got to love that. Zealous able to get the tip, run the floor, and then rewarded by going right to the rim for the layup.
An attack to the rim by Stevens is no good. Out in transition quickly are the Patriots, and a beautiful dish from Breckenridge down the court, and finds her teammate in Smith, and Smith is fouled immediately.
And that's the one thing George Washington wanted to do, obviously get off to an early start as the free throw's no good, but if you're Musselman, you've got to be able to say, wait a minute, we can't let them get off to that fast of a start. We've got to slow the pace down, keep the tempo the way we want it, and walk the ball up the floor.
Obviously a difference in styles in that Musselman averaging just 50 a game and 41 defensively. They like to grind it down. Meanwhile, the Patriots want to get out a little bit quicker.
Well, with the athletes that George Washington has, right, they want to be able to run the floor. Musselman, like you said, they want to grind it. They want to play the half-court game. They want to walk it up. They want to slow the pace down.
Just 30 seconds into the second half, or the first quarter. Lowen with the steal on the backcourt, finds it down court to Zealous, and she's going to be fouled. A pair of fouls quickly for the Applemen, trying to get back even.
I don't think they called a foul. They called it a clean block.
Okay, clean block. We'll take that.
That was a beautiful pass by Lowen, though.
Corner right three put up. That one short off the mark, and the rebound cleared by Larkin Walker.
And here's a big thing for the Musselmen. They got to be able to handle the pressure. They got to be able to get the ball up the floor and say that time turnover, they couldn't get it across the midcourt stripe within 10 seconds. And
obviously, Coach Tim Potter does not want to see his 5'11 forward playing point guard, and that's kind of what you saw with Jasmine Morris in the backcourt.
And if they can't handle the pressure just a little bit, they have no shot. They've got to be able, to some degree, be able to handle the George Washington pressure.
Perimeter action leads to a three. Off the mark for Smith, and
it's a foul on the Appleman on the rebound.
Foul off ball. That time it's going to be Walker. Out on the left wing, another three put up. That one hits top of the backboard and goes behind for Smith.
They had a good look. They went inside out. They went into Lowen in the paint. They collapsed on Lowen, throws it out for Smith. She had a good open look, just couldn't knock it down.
Full court pressure applied, though, for the Patriots. Whistle and a 5-second violation. So just a minute and change going by here, Maris, and a couple of violations.
Right. You have a 10-second violation, can't get the ball across midcourt, and then you can't get the ball in bounds in 5 seconds.
Smith's going to dump it back into the corner. Couple times off the wing. Shot no good for Breckenridge. Musselman into the front court. Losing the dribble, though, is Stevens. Stolen away. Lots of body contact on the attempt by Pryor. And a third foul for Musselman.
And that is definitely a foul. Yeah, no question about that. And once again, it starts with defense. Defense leads to offense. You get the steal, you get the run out, you attack the basket, and getting up to the free throw line will be a Pryor will shoot two.
And Larkin Walker, the guilty party, the 6-foot senior, has just picked up her second. And we are less than a minute and a half into this ball game. Walker will have to check out early in this one. She'll be replaced by the 5'9" senior Sarah Price.
And you know, Andrew, I've got to ask you, is they've got white uniforms on white numbers on white uniforms, George Washington. Is that giving you as much trouble as it's given me, trying to, maybe not so much on the front end, but on the back of their jerseys, it's like white on white?
If I were in the rafters as per usual, yes. Price attacking, trying to dish it back to a teammate. It's stolen away. Pryor quickly into the front court. Nice defense, though, by Puller. Stepped away from that jump pass and ended up with a steal. Now Lowen attacks on the defensive side with the block. Patriots long on the outside. The three-pointer put up, no good for Pryor. Rebound for Zealous. A little strong on that first opportunity for Zealous. They'll work it back outside. Breckenridge can't hit.
Yeah, George Washington has fell in love with the three ball, and they've really not been able to hit with any consistency.
Nevaeh Thompson chooses to bring it back out top instead of firing the three. Pressure out top. Price going to pull the trigger on a three. And Sarah Price gets Musselman to within one with a nice three-point shot off of pressure out top.
Yes, it was. Right down the chute. Under pressure, as you mentioned. Knocked it down head of the lane.
Patriots staying on the perimeter.
Musselman back in his zone.
And they're just working Zealous. High post, low post, into the corner. Lowen for three. No good. Zealous can't get the putback. And on the second opportunity, it's tipped away by Jasmine Morris.
Yeah.
Morris on the attack. Down the lane with the runner, it's no good. The rebound on the floor. Outlet opportunity. Pryor saves it inbounds and puts it in.
That was a great baseball pass by Lowen to Pryor for the finish.
I wasn't sure if Pryor was going to get to that one in time, but she proved speed kills.
Yes, it does. And when you don't have it, it kills it's twice as deadly. But Musselman's having a hard time with the pressure.
Boy, a great back cut, a good pass delivered from Thompson to Sierra Puller.
Watch this beautiful play by Lowen. The one-hand baseball pass right on the money. Pryor able to get up under it, as you mentioned. Thought she shot it maybe a little too strong. The ball kind of hung on the iron and then went for it, but that was a great play all the way around. Starts on the defensive end and able to get a bucket in transition.
A little bit of sticky honey on the ball from the previous game with the East Fairmont Bees. How about that for a little punt action for you?
Perhaps.
Maris Lowry's the one that produces the comic relief for the ball games.
You know, it's funny, all these comedians out of work, and I'm trying to be one, right?
Price off of an offensive rebound, pulls the trigger on another three. From our vantage point, it was directly in front. Looked like it was good side to side, just a little strong. Lowen attacks with a three of her own.
Yeah, that's a good-looking shot by Lowen on the near side corner. And that's, you can tell when the minute Lowen caught it, she was able to catch and, didn't waste any time, didn't hesitate, dials up a three. There's a timeout on the floor.
30-second timeout for Coach Potter, but it'll be transitioned into a media break. 9-3 GW, the 1 seed on top of Musselman. Will be back. A little over 4 minutes gone by in this opening quarter. Musselman struggling with pressure here from GW. Just 1 of 7 shooting from the field, 14%. 5 turnovers for the Applemen right now.
And, that's why I think that was a really good timeout, to bring the troops in if you're Musselman and settle them down a little bit. Look, yeah, you got to be able to handle the pressures. You mentioned only 1 of 7 from the floor, and you're only down 6. So, you don't want to panic. But like I said, just trying to maybe, calm them down a little bit, settle, let them settle into the game.
Stevens struggled to get it inbounds, finds Morris under the basket, a reverse look. And Morris could not connect. GW on the attack. Breckenridge for 3. That one misses short.
Yeah, like I said, George Washington have not hit shots that they normally hit, those type of shots. And, they've hit a couple threes, but like I said, they've missed more than they've made. And there's
Stevens works it to the free throw area, but directly behind her, an official sees that pivot foot as she was unable to hold it.
Yeah, they didn't even need our help on that one. I mean, I was calling it right as it happened. In another life, I was official before I got smart, and then I got real smart and decided not to coach, and then I started broadcasting.
Zealous out of the elbow, tried to fire one across to the right wing.
It's a foul.
And it was tipped away.
George Washington foul.
And first foul on the Patriots.
But so far, I think both teams need to settle in. George Washington's had some good looks. They've missed some shots that, like I said, that they normally make, and I think that's the key. Each coach want to tell their group, just calm down, settle into the game.
Yeah, we mentioned the Applemen struggling. George Washington just 20% in the first quarter.
Yeah, and, Musselman's very fortunate that George Washington, if you figure George Washington would have made half of their shots, instead of being up 6, they're probably up, 12, 13 by now.
Out top it goes to Price. She has the lone 3-point basket for the Applemen. Pressure out top, Zealous. Boy, that is impressive. 6'2" center, and she is playing great defense out on the perimeter. Shot put up this time. Smith misses everything. Great save inbounds, though, by Finley Lowen. Hustle play by the senior. Again, we mentioned in the pregame, Maris headed to UNC Wilmington next year.
Yeah, and Musselman that time overzealous as they commit a foul, and Zealous at the line for 2 for George Washington.
All right, I will defer to you for the rest of the game. Zealous unable to connect on the first opportunity.
Andrew didn't know that when he got me to be color, the comic relief comes with it.
Lowen will get her first breather of the first quarter. Tylee Barton, the 5'7" senior, in for Lowen. 1 of 2 for Zealous. Musselman, a significant scoring drought right now, nearly 3.5 minutes. Take the words out of my mouth, why don't you, Emily Stevens?
That was a nice play by Stevens, nice drive.
Breyer got into some pressure in the paint, and a turnover for the Patriots. An opportunity for Musselman now.
That's right. They kind of weathered the storm here in the first part of the first quarter. We're under 2 for the opening quarter. And this is the kind of the pace. The scores were, the Applemen won it.
Step back jumper opportunity missed by Cotton. Sorry, by Morris. She got her hand in and swiped it back for Musselman. And a foul coming on GW. See that last bucket, Stevens.
Yeah, and then
just muscling it up.
And Breckenridge commits the foul for George Washington.
Stevens averaging 6 a game.
And that's another thing we talk about. Anytime you're the underdog on any level, you've got to make your free throws. Especially when you're behind, you have an opportunity to cut into the lead with the clock stop. And I know we're in the first quarter, but you get an opportunity to get these points, you've got to be able to cash in at the line, and she makes one of two.
And as you mentioned, right now, George Washington, just 2 of their last 14.
Yeah.
Right now is a great time if you're a Musselman fan to try to get back into this. Zealous hit hard by Price on the putback.
And Zealous is one being able to bail them out. She's been able to clean up the spills, all the missed shots, which have been plenty in this first quarter for George Washington as we watch the replay. Trying to put a body on her and just athletic go up, and there's a lot of contact, no question, a foul. Zealous will get to the line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, Thompson had good rebounding position, but once that ball came off of the rim, she left that box out and went for the jump, and Zealous just out-lead.
Well, that's what I say. She's just too good of an athlete, and like I said, try to put a body on her, and she did that, but not able to screen her out completely.
1 of 2 again for Zealous. And Stevens with the rebound. Here comes Pryor after the steal, and Stevens will be whistled. You got to be very careful on those passes diagonally, those passes to the wings.
You can't make that pass. From where you're at, when you saw the replay, where Stevens is, to throw the ball all the way across the court, especially to a team as athletic as George Washington, there's no way that you're going to connect on that. And Pryor did a good job, able to read it, take the ball in, draw the foul, and get to the line.
Pryor, the 5'6" freshman, showing the athletic ability. If she's got any football eligibility, she could play a little bit of corner or safety work. Zealous will get a breather for the first time. Lowen back in. And 2 of 2 for the freshman. Pressure in the backcourt. Again, Pryor picking the pocket. And a foul coming again.
And that's going to be free throw time because Musselman is over the limit. So Lowen will get to the line to shoot 2.
15th foul with 1:17 left in the first. Lowen 1 dribble and up with it. Now Madison Sosby will check in. She'll replace Smith.
Of course, you said that Lowen is going to Wilmington to play.
UNC Wilmington.
And I'm sure, well, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Wilmington, the home of Michael Jordan. Did you know that?
I did.
I knew you did. I just knew that you knew that.
Pressure in the backcourt broken nicely. Price is going to attack. Laying there, trying to draw the charge. It was a 50-50 opportunity. Breckenridge staying strong in the lane, and there was contact. Price just slid by on that left side. I think we'll take a look here at the replay.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Because a good job by Price to try to be able to split the defenders and able to get the whistle, and she makes the first of 2.
A short break for Zealous. She'll be back in immediately for Breckenridge. Price
That's
misses
an air ball.
Everything.
Yeah, so they should blow the whistle, which they do. But, you know, it's been a really good, entertaining opening quarter.
Both teams a little off as far as field goal percentage, but both teams playing strong on the boards.
And right there, George Washington, I was going to say, that's where they want to go. They go to Zealous, but good defense by the Appleman.
Kaylee DeLuca, who checked in on the last dead ball. Very nice with the hands. Morris out top, Lowen, hand in, deflects and steals. .40 seconds left on the first quarter clock. Lowen tried to slide by with the Euro step. The scoop layup blocked. DeLuca finds a teammate. This one muscled up off the back iron from Thompson. Into the front court, baseline drive. Look at the pass all the way out top. The shot put up by Sosby. And that was all started by Lowen's pass underneath the basket.
Yeah, you were so right. Make the extra pass, find the wide open shooter, and they knock down the 3 ball.
Double-digit lead with 5 on the clock. Musselman needs to take a look quickly. Price at the buzzer, just a little strong. And we've got an 11-point lead for the number 1 seeded Patriots of George Washington. Break to take. We'll be back with second quarter action here on the NFHS Network. Affinity Coal is hiring workers for their underground and surface mining operations. They offer great benefits with no deductible health insurance and a company matching 401k. Apply online by going through the United Coal Facebook page or in person by picking up an application at the Guard Shack located on Independence Road in Sophia. Affinity Coal is proud to support student athletes in West Virginia. Alongside Maris Lowry, I'm Andrew Miller, Class Quad A quarterfinal. Number 1, George Washington. Number 8, Musselman. And as you said, a little bit of Brick City in the first quarter for both sides.
That's what I said during the commercial break. But, yeah, the Rams have not been kind because the Musselman, 2 of 13 from the floor. George Washington just 4 of 18 from the floor, including 2 of 11 from downtown.
6 of 31 combined. And it makes for still a rather close game, but right off of the second quarter beginning, a steal by the Patriots.
Well, you know, one thing, Andrew, what's been impressive is there's a foul on Musselman. George Washington able to get to the free throw line 12 times in that first quarter, making 8.
Musselman just a little slow to react certain times defensively. They picked up 5 personals, and that gave the Patriots a lot of opportunities.
Another thing, too, Musselman, they turned the ball over 10 times in that first quarter. That's a lot for a quarter.
Meanwhile, George Washington, 5 turnovers. Zealous will head to the backcourt.
And, you know, Andrew, I think you would agree that Musselman, after turning the ball over 10 times in the way they shot, are lucky they're only down 11.
Inside, look at the dish from Pryor. Just over the outstretched hands of 2 defenders. And Zealous leaped to high point that one.
Yeah, when you're not shooting the ball well, as George Washington has not to this point, there's where you need to go because Musselman has no one that can guard Zealous. It's a big mismatch inside.
But imagine Zealous was a mismatch for a lot of teams this season. Underneath the basket, great hustle by Morris. Finds the teammate on that one, Kaylee DeLuca, the senior. Deadens it off the back iron, high into the sky, and it drops.
That means you're living well when you get that bounce.
I wouldn't know.
Come on, you got to live well from time to time.
They'll feed it into the big once again. Another good help defense play, but stolen right back by Smith. It was Price who took it away from Zealous on the way up. And then the outlet pass was taken right back by Sia Smith.
And then we had a foul on the play, and that's going to go against Musselman.
Fouls mounting up for the Applemen. For the first time, we'll see Brianna Benjamin for Musselman, placing Price. Minute and a half gone by in the second. They are actively now, Maris, looking inside for Zealous. They're setting it up. They're not just dumping it in every time. They're setting it up with that deep corner pass or the wing pass, and they're making the extra pass.
Well, that time they go right out of the out-of-bounds play under the basket, right to Zealous, and able to score. But you're right. They can even go inside out, and that will free up some of their shooters.
Musselman attacking now. Beautiful no-look dish. Benjamin couldn't hold on to it, though.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be an easy layup. Here's that last out-of-bounds play up under the basket. Look at that. Just Zealous right down the lane, catch, shoot, and score. That's easy. That's too easy. 2
defenders, and again, it was a mismatch out top with Thompson. And I think Thompson may have thought she had some help defense when Zealous came down the lane. It did not come, or Benjamin a little late to get back there.
And right now, this is the largest lead of the game right here, 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Now trying to lob it in again. That one luckily ended up in Pryor's hands for the Patriots. Pryor, though, unable to connect. Thompson bringing it into the front court. Musselman, you just get the feeling they've got to have a good half-court set pretty soon. Thompson driving, that'll help. That will absolutely help.
And there was a lot of contact on that, and Thompson able to play through the contact and knock it down.
First points of the game for Thompson. Baseline left side, the shot put up by Breckenridge is no good, and the Applemen will have possession.
And, you know, that's another thing, too, Andrew. When you're not making your shots the way George Washington is really for them have shot poorly in the first half, unless you can get an out-of-bounds play like that, it's hard for them to set up their full-court pressure, if they're just missing shots and the Applemen are getting no rebounds. But now able to break the pressure, at least for now.
Zealous out of the ball game with a breather. A foul out top, though, on a screen attempt.
Yep, that's illegal.
They're going to get DeLuca on that one.
And, that's 3 team fouls on a Musselman in this quarter. George Washington has yet to commit a team foul. But it just shows you how good George Washington is. They haven't played really well up to this point. I think they would agree to it, to a player, to their coaches, but yet they still got a double-digit lead.
Maybe defensively they've played well, but offensively, as you mentioned, they have struggled a bit. Appleman with a steal of their own. Morris going to step back on the wing. Beautiful look for Jasmine Morris. And that is her first basket of the night.
Right down the chute.
That cuts it back to single digits. Now Morris playing out top. You see the long reach of Morris.
Yeah.
Getting a hand in to deflect.
Look at that 3 ball right there.
Just
Beautiful.
squared it up, took her time, and buried it.
Like I said, right down the chute.
Well, if the Patriots were unsure if Morris could hit from outside, they aren't now. Morris now with a defensive rebound off the miss from Pryor.
And see, as I'm saying, when George Washington misses their shots, they can't set up their pressure.
Thompson pulling up on the wing.
And
a little over pursuit by Pryor left Thompson open.
Yeah, and if you're Musselman, you're going to have to make some shots.
Barton looking opposite, wide open for a second. Lowen instead decides to drive it in and dish to a teammate. Barton missed that one, and it comes down to the Appleman.
I think they overpassed that time.
Sometimes you can be too unselfish.
Yeah. When Lowen was on the drive, I thought maybe she just went ahead and took the ball to the basket.
What a great opportunity for Musselman to cut it to closer than 8.
Well, as I say, they're going to have to make some shots.
They were down by 13. They've got a 5-0 run. GW has not scored in the last 2.5 minutes.
That'll be the 4th team foul on Musselman. So the next foul will get GW to the line with almost 3.5 left. As we think we might have a timeout here.
Media break to come here with 3:39 left in the half. GW leading Musselman by 8. Class Quad A action here in the quarterfinal round of the West Virginia Girls High School State Basketball Championships on the NFHS Network. Cracker Barrel, the Old Country store located at Canal City in Charleston, is proud to sponsor this year's 2024 West Virginia Basketball Championships. From breakfast to dinner, Cracker Barrel has all your home-style favorites. Alongside Maris Lowry, I'm Andrew Miller, and we've got a battle here in this second quarter. George Washington, the number 1 seed, Musselman, the 8th seed. It looked for a second like George Washington might try to run away, got it to 13, but the Musselman Applemen have cut it down to 8.
Yeah, they have, and of course, George Washington, like you said, they've played good defense, but they've shot the ball poorly here in this first half, and if they go inside, they do, and they miss a little short shot, but now there's a foul.
Well, they took Zealous out for a bit to give her a breather. She's back in immediately. The MO is to try to feed the big inside, and she should not be that open. If you're Musselman head coach Tim Potter, I imagine he is not happy with that.
And if you're Coach LeMaster at George Washington, if you're that open, you shouldn't miss the shot. And not only did she miss the shot and got a foul, she missed the first of 2 free throws.
So a good foul if you're a Musselman supporter.
And if she misses this one, a better foul, but she's 1 out of 2. So instead of a better foul, it's just a good foul right now.
DeLuca, by the way, has just picked up her 3rd. She will check out as Price back in for Musselman.
But yeah, George Washington had been stuck on 22 for the longest time.
Back pass stolen away by Zealous. Misses another, grabs another board, misses another. And this one out of bounds, last touch by Zealous.
Yeah, I know it's frustrating for George Washington. Look how many shots, Andrew, they have missed in this first half that are right around the basket or even open 3 looks. They just have not been able to knock shots down.
Can Musselman handle the pressure, though? They do not. Morris tried to feed that one to midcourt, and that one was stolen by Breckenridge. Lowen off the mark on her 3 attempt.
And those are good shots. George Washington's getting good looks. They've just not been able to make them.
Puller clears the rebound. Now Stevens attacking on the right side. Looking for some help. Got into traffic and had the shot blocked. Breckenridge attacking again. Pull up from 14. Silky smooth for Breckenridge.
Boy, that was a nice job by Breckenridge to get right in the lane. And that description was, you're exactly right. You know, smooth as silk.
That was their first basket in their last 9 attempts for George Washington. Pressure out top. We got a whistle coming. The ball was on the ground. Morris went diving after it between 2 white jerseys.
There's a replay of that smoothie silk shot. By the way, Andrew, test your NBA knowledge. Do you know who was Mr. Silk in the NBA?
I got no clue on that one.
All right, UCLA's Keith Wilkes, then changed the name to Jamal Wilkes. Keith Wilkes was part of that 88-game UCLA winning streak and was on the Golden State and the Lakers.
Now, was this pre-1995?
Oh, yes. In fact, Zealous misses. Actually, Jamal Wilkes was NBA Rookie of the Year in 1975, and they won the championship, Golden State, beating Washington.
Morris on the drive. No good. The rebound by Puller. And that one sent away by Lowen with some force. Around the perimeter again. They'll find Smith in the corner. Smith unable to connect, though. And the 50-50 ball out of bounds, last touched by the Appleman.
You know, both teams have scored 7 points this quarter and way down from where they were from the first quarter, as GW had 18 in the first quarter. They got 7 now. And Musselman had 7 first quarter with 14 now.
Neither team burning up the net right now. 1 of 11 for George Washington. Musselman 0 for their last 5. Lowen falls. And the loose ball stolen by Price. Stevens tries to collect it, misses. Rebound. The putback is no good for Benjamin.
And she stepped out of bounds.
And Morris, you can see the frustration for Morris. Again, she's the leading scorer for this Musselman team. She has just 3, and that came on an early three-pointer back in the first quarter. Now Lowen will try another 3. That one rims out.
Like I said, these have all been good shots. You can't blame George Washington for their shot selection. They just have not been able to knock them down.
Benjamin, another rebound. Back-to-back for the sophomore. Price out top. Musselman going to try to break this cold snap. Price will force it up just a little short. And Zealous just quick to the loose ball. In transition, Smith will square up another 3. And nothing falling, really, for both sides right now.
And that's Zealous being overzealous right here. Now, I hate to use that term again, but if you watch this, when we get the replay, she just crashes in to the Musselman players and commits the foul.
Right now in the first half of play, George Washington, 7 of 33, 2 of 15 from behind the three-point line. That's 13%. Musselman, 5 of 25, and 2 of 6 from 3.
And I will say this, Andrew, I think George Washington has had better shots. They're just not making them. Of course, it's been difficult. That's only as the foul's on George Washington, only their second team foul. George Washington's defense has made it really tough on Musselman, but George Washington on the offensive end have had really good looks and just not been able to cash in.
Now the Appleman posting Morris up on the elbow right, and Lowen kind of reached through that pass. Appleman unable to do anything with it. Another turnover. Out top it goes. They'll find it into the corner. Barton's 3, another miss. Smith over on the sideline, couldn't hold on to the loose ball.
And I've got to think with 14.9 left in the half, the Musselman Appleman will hold for the final shot. This will be last shot time of the half. I wouldn't think unless you can get a layup, you'd run down here and take a quick shot.
Morris will trigger it inbounds, and they'll give it right back with 10 on the clock. Price dumps it inside, turnaround for Puller, gets her own rebound, no good. And that's how the first half of play will end. A defensive battle in the first half of play. George Washington, the 1 seed, leading Musselman after 2, 25-14. We'll break away for our sponsors, come back, recap the first half, and have some statistics. You're watching the 2024 West Virginia High School Girls State Basketball Tournament on the NFHS Network. We hope for continued strong defense, and we will see if these two teams can come out of the offensive shooting funk that they both seemed to be in that first half.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Andrew. I think the team that can make shots is the best, has a team to come back and win the second half and win the game. But Musselman, their first possession of the second half, they do not connect.
Nice ball movement to begin that half-court set, though. And now a steal for Morris. Coast to coast, the lefty layup, no good. A rebound on the offensive side for Nevaeh Thompson. And a quick foul on the Patriots.
So it'll be free throw time. It'll be a couple of free throws for Musselman. As Thompson will get to the line, we watch that nice hustle on the rebound. There's the foul on the putback.
First free throw.
And, that's one thing.
Good.
Andrew, one thing we talked about. Musselman only got to the line 4 times in the first half, and now this will be their 6th free throw of the game right here.
1 of 2, deep rebound into the corner by Lowen. I imagine that was probably one of the points of emphasis from first-year head coach Tim Potter, the Musselman Appleman. We cannot continue to foul at that rate. Well, off of the second half opening, there's a basket going through for Pryor.
Yeah, nice little baseline shot. And I'll tell you what, that's a difficult shot. It may not seem like it one, but that's tough when you're open like that and you're about 8 feet from the basket.
Pryor now with 7 on the night. Thompson calling for somebody to come help out. And dishes a no-look. Nice pass underneath. Puller couldn't get the shot to fall. Saved in bounds. Breckenridge looking down floor. Lowen wide open for the layup.
Nice pass and hit Lowen right there in stride, able to haul it in and just go in and lay it in for the easy 2.
And those were the baskets that George Washington would love to have to try to extend this lead a little bit. Pryor falls to the floor, still okay. Breckenridge steals it away. I looked down for Pryor and turned back. I assumed that Stevens was going to take that one, and Breckenridge swiped it away.
Just like that, a quick 6-0 run and another turnover, biggest lead of the game right here.
Patriots making some early moves in the second half. Lowen going to be fouled, and she will head to the line.
But the thing I like of the adjustment is there's the steal you're going to see right here on the replay right there. Nice hustle play and effort that time by Breckenridge. But you're seeing George Washington, Andrew, they're not settling for the 3 ball. Their defense have turned it up. They've had a short baseline shot. Lowen, when she was fouled, took the short shot. Like I said, when you're 2 of 16 from downtown, you may think a while before you take that 17-3, right?
And again, we don't want to put words into Coach Jamie Lemaster's mouth, but I cannot imagine the way Zealous was kind of dominating inside that he wouldn't say, hey, let's get it inside.
Right, and it's a quick 8-0 spurt by George Washington. And
bump foul in the backcourt. Yeah. Pryor is going to be the guilty party.
But, to me, like I said, I think on any level, if you keep putting up threes, and I know that when you're in a shooting slump, it's like being in a hitting slump. The only way to get out of it is keep doing it more. But there's games within the game, and when you put up 16 threes, and they're all pretty good looks, and you only made 2, like I said, you may want to think about it before you put up that 17-3.
Yeah, Zealous, 9 of the 25 in the first half, and that includes a couple of missed opportunities for her inside, so that's going to be a point of emphasis, I imagine.
Yeah, if the game hasn't already got away from Musselman, it can here shortly with this lead that George Washington has.
Looking diagonally, Smith back out top, Breckenridge. Now Smith squares one up, a little bit strong. Zealous, though, just so quick to the basketball, finds herself around that basketball every single time.
Got an injured player down in front of us.
Smith out top firing another one. And this jump ball could not have come at a better time because Emily Stevens is down. I did not see it. Was right in front of us, Maris. Maybe a loose ball, just maybe something.
Well, I seen her when she hit the floor. She got hit in the eye. But I'll tell you, the most disturbing thing about it is when she got up, Andrew, she staggered around like a fighter and then went back to the deck, and she's laying like right here in front of us.
We do apologize for coming back a bit late out of the media timeout. We were checking on the status of Emily Stevens. They snuck in a media timeout on us. Zealous on a miss to begin after the break, and Musselman with a couple of different opportunities on their side.
Andrew, I got to ask, were we late or were they early?
We'll blame it on them.
Right, they were early. We weren't late. They were early. But all you missed, they threw the ball inside Zealous. She missed the short shot. Musselman comes back the other way, and Musselman throws it away.
George Washington, an 8-0 run over the past 3 minutes in this third quarter. And now a great defensive play, looking like a safety is DeLuca. She'll float one in on the runner, no good. She'll take it right back, though, and that is confidence for DeLuca.
Yeah, that's the first field goal of this third quarter. The only other point, they had a free throw.
Looking again for Zealous inside, and it goes off the tip of the fingers.
As we watch this latest replay.
Thompson finding the mark, and DeLuca tickling the net on that one. Morris fires it down to Puller. Nice press breaker. Another one turn and missed just barely by DeLuca. But that will lead to some transition opportunity. Pryor puts the brakes on and sees the two defenders go flying by.
That was a great play by Pryor. What a move.
Now Pryor staying back defensively, knocking it out of bounds.
Here's a replay. Look at this. Coming down, like you said, just put the brakes on. Yep. And then they go right by her and lays it up and in.
Pryor will get a breather. She'll check out. In comes Sosby. Sarah Price back in, and it will be Thompson checking out.
Andrew, Musselman had 7 at the end of the first quarter. They only scored 10 points since then. It's been really tough on the offensive end for the Applemen.
And 4 more turnovers in the last 3.5 minutes. That leads to 21 total in this ball game. Just 12 turnovers for George Washington. Price, who just checked in, fires from 3. She hit the only 3 in the first half for Musselman. And that is stick-to-itiveness. Follow your miss, and Price ends up with another look. Now Smith going to pull the trigger on another 3. That one off the mark. She is 0 for 8 now.
And you don't know how many times over her career I've seen her make that exact same shot that she just missed. And, I mean, I've done a lot of her games and watched her over the years. And like you said, 0 for 8. And they're all been good shots. She just has not been able to knock it down.
Some days are diamonds and some days are stones, Maris.
Well, I thought diamonds were stones. Are they not?
I don't know. I just didn't know if you got the John Denver reference or not.
I do. I got you. You know I got to pick on you. But, if you're George Washington and you were fortunate enough to hang on and win this game, you're going to think, see, we got our bad shooting game out of the way in the first game.
Errant pass. Last touch, though, out of bounds by Pryor. She had about a 14-second break when she took off outside.
Because I'll tell you, Andrew, all the years coming down here, boys or girls on any level, you see teams really, shoot the lights out. They get down here, and then you have a game like this. And sometimes you're fortunate enough to win when you shoot poor, and other times you get knocked off when you don't shoot the ball well.
Inside, Price battling a whistle. And you go back to Smith when you said, she can make those shots.
Right.
If you're her head coach, Jamie LeMaster, he's going to tell her, hey, if you're that wide open, keep shooting
Right.
it.
Well, like I said earlier in the broadcast, it's like a hitting slump. If somebody's and I got a great Pete Rose story to tell you about a hitting slump. I got to tell you about this. Pete Rose's son one time went through an 0 for 32 streak, right? He was in the minor leagues, and I'll tell the story as we go.
Breckenridge with a steal on the inbounds, misses the layup. Price able to track it down, though.
So, anyway, Pete Rose's son, he goes 0 for 32, and he's playing for a minor league team, and the coach of the minor league team, there's a nice layup.
DeLuca from the feed of Puller. Boy, now we're starting to put shots in. I want to hear the rest of this story eventually.
Because I think our audience will appreciate this story. So anyway, the minor league coach tells Pete Rose, his son, and we'll get to it.
Another player down in the backcourt for Musselman. Pryor could not connect, but all white jersey surrounding it, low and finishes.
So, as I say, he says, well, listen, your dad's the all-time hit leader, Well, why don't you ask him what to do, how to get out of this hitting slump? So the younger Rose thinks that's a good idea to do, right? So he goes home and he asks his father, Pete Rose, said, how do I get out of this 0 of 32 hitting streak?
Nice finish by Zealous.
And you know what Pete Rose said? How the heck would I know? I never went 0 for 32 in my career. How the heck would I know how to do it? The point is that when you're in a streak, like you said, Smith, even though she's missed 8, she had open looks. You got to keep shooting. That's how you shoot your way out of a poor shooting night.
Absolutely. Zealous, though, finishes it before the immediate timeout. A 20-point advantage for the number 1 seed. Break the take. We'll be back on the NFHS Network. Affinity Coal is hiring workers for their underground and surface mining operations. They offer great benefits, no deductible health insurance, and a company matching 401k. Apply online by going through the United Coal Facebook page, in person by picking up an application at the Guard Shack located on Independence Road in Sophia. Affinity Coal is proud to support student athletes in West Virginia. Well, we had struggled offensively throughout most of the game. As soon as you started telling a story about Pete Rose Jr., an explosion of offense.
Right.
George Washington now up to 30% from the field. Musselman still around 21%, though.
And while you were talking about Affinity Coal, the Appleman threw the ball away.
Pryor, nice dribbling underneath. Got underneath the basket, though, and threw it underneath the basket. Kept it alive, and this one knocked away.
So we got one more game that will follow this, the nightcap on day 1 of this 2024 Girls State Basketball Tournament. And that'll be Lewis County and Philip Barber. And that'll tip approximately at 9 o'clock.
A minute left here in the third. George Washington, another run. This one's 6-0 at the moment. Foul coming. Lowen, who has really done a nice job just distributing, but she is quietly above double figures with 11 points in this ball game, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks, 3 steals, and assists at a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, there you go. And I do remember that. Actually, you said partridge in a pear tree. I was thinking I remember the Partridge Family back in the day. I'm showing my age, Andrew.
Zealous set to check in for Lowen if she makes this, as she does.
But, you know, that's the thing. I think, obviously, George Washington should hang on and win this game. They'll be very thrilled about that because at tournament time, it's about winning and advancing. But a lot of players are probably not going to be happy with how they played overall. So maybe just how they shot overall, not necessarily played how they just, you know, because they've done, even though George Washington as a team hadn't shot it well, they've done a lot of other good things.
Peyton Atkins has checked in, the sophomore guard for George Washington, first time into the ball game. Morris, a step-back jumper, just barely off the mark. Look at the hustle, though, for Thompson. And a timeout whistled by Coach Tim Potter. It's one thing I love to see down here in Charleston. You could be losing by 2 or 22, and it does not matter. The fight in all these teams is tremendous. Break to take. We'll be back with 31 seconds remaining in the third. Cracker Barrel, the old country store located at Canal City in Charleston, is proud to sponsor this year's 2024 West Virginia Basketball Championships. From breakfast to dinner, Cracker Barrel has all your home-style favorites. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Pryor playing free safety once again. She has been so difficult. That's her 5th steal. 10 on the clock. Trying to dump it into Zealous. Good defense by Thompson. DeLuca doesn't see the time running down, and that will end the third quarter. George Washington, the 1 seed, leading heavy over Musselman. Fourth quarter to come here on the NFHS Network. Back inside the Charleston Coliseum Convention Center, Bridge Valley. Start your trucking career at Bridge Valley. Tuition fee assistance is available. For more information, visit us at bridgevalley.edu/CDL or give us a call at 304-205-6650 to apply today. Fourth quarter action, Maris Lowry.
And, Andrew, it's been a tough night at the office for the Appleman of Musselman. They're 8 of 40 from the floor, 2 of 6 from downtown, 3 of 6 at the line. George Washington, 14 of 48 from the floor, 2 of 19 from downtown, but they're 13 of 18 from the free throw line.
And Musselman still struggling offensively. George Washington, threatening to climb out of the cellar a little bit here at 29.2%. Just 10% from three, but as you said, 13 of 18 at the line.
Yeah.
That's where George Washington has made their bones.
And the one thing that the Applemen have been consistent, they've had 3 quarters and they've scored 7 in each one, and obviously that's not good when you can't get to double digits in at least one quarter.
Price attempting a 3 off the mark. That's the first 3-point shot attempt, by the way, for the Applemen in this half.
Yeah, they only attempted 6 prior to that one, and now they are 2 of 7 from downtown.
Appleman trying to apply a bit of pressure. Pryor able to break that easily, and that will lead to a low and 3 in the corner.
And I think for George Washington and their fans, that ought to feel good seeing that go in, because that's only the third 3 they've made. They're 3 of 20 from downtown.
Well, Lowen has certainly done her part here. 16 on 4 of 8 shooting, 6 of 6 from the free throw line.
And there's the replay. They find her wide open in the near corner, a little splash down.
Just drew all of the pressure, did Pryor. Now Lowen has it swiped from behind. That'll lead to Morris firing the 3. Tracked down in the corner. Larkin Walker, who has been out since the first quarter, picked up 3 early fouls, and she is back in for the first time in the second half. Appleman still just struggling to find the shots to fall. Smith will find Pryor another 3-point opportunity. Halfway down and pops out. You see Thompson there with the rebound.
Got to get her hair out of her eyes. However you can do it, right?
Price wide open on the left wing. That one no good. Thompson there again for another rebound. This time it goes through for Nevaeh Thompson, her 5th point of the evening, 7th rebound. Lowen will trigger another 3.
Yeah, left that one a little short.
Still able to handle it on the loose ball. Rebound out top Breckenridge. Well, we just got done telling them to stop shooting the 3s, and they're 2 of their last 3 now.
Right, and that's why George Washington fans and coaches said, where's that been the entire game? And that was a nice looking 3, nice rotation on the ball, right down the chute. One heck of a semifinal.
We will be chalked here at the end of tonight in Class AAA. 3 of the 4 teams are already guaranteed at the semifinals. Number 1, East Fairmont, we just saw. Number 2, Wayne. Number 3, Nitro. The nightcap will feature 4 versus 5, Lewis County versus Philip Barber. Tomorrow, it'll be favored heavy on single A. There will be the other 2 quarterfinal matchups in quad A. Spring Valley Huntington, the 3-6 matchup, and the 2-7 between Wheeling Park and Washington.
Yeah, you're talking about that Spring Valley game with Huntington. That's correct. Spring Valley and Huntington tomorrow?
Yes.
They know each other very well. They're in the same section.
So, common opponent.
And I have seen both of those teams. Actually, I did both of those games. Spring Valley's Huntington is the kind of team that they seem like they were better than what their record was, because at the time when I did Huntington, they had a losing record. But in Spring Valley, they've got a lot of girls who've been together for a long time. They got a really good team.
Smith continues to fire, and again, that's just something if you're a shooter you got to do if you get those good looks.
Yeah, she's now missed 9 straight.
You'll feed it back to Saya Smith, and hey, there you go. She'll take it strong to the hoop. She drew the pressure and dumped it to the teammate, Zealous, wide open.
Yeah, Zealous with good hands, able to catch front of the rim to lay it up and in.
The attack by Walker, that one falls through nicely. Walker, a senior, one of 3 senior starters on this group for head coach Tim Potter. Smith from that same corner spot, unable to connect again. Morris clears it into the front court. Nearing the 4-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. As the Patriots doubling up the Applemen. And Lowen being stingy defensively once again. That is her 4th steal, and that's the 20th steal of the game for George Washington.
And, this is our first foul of the 4th quarter right here. So we've had a lot of flow to this 4th quarter with 3:52 left in it.
You're starting to see head coach Tim Potter for the Applemen distributing down further his bench. And when the writing is on the wall, if you're a head coach, you want to get some of these youngsters into the ball game, get that feeling of being on the floor here in Charleston. It's a first time ever for the Applemen, so you want to enjoy it all.
Right, and waving the white flag, and you're right. But the ones you put in, you want to continue to coach them and have them play hard. Like you said, get that opportunity to play here on this floor at the state tournament.
And they are playing hard still, are the Applemen defensively. Jada Gunn, one to check in. As well as Kiara Petrie, who just got that rebound defensively. Again, though, Lowen, she is a menace on both sides. Look at the pass.
Beautiful play. And, Andrew, you got to think maybe how long Lowen will stay in the game and how long Zealous will stay in the game with coming down to 3 minutes and got this huge lead.
That's always been a source of contemplation, not just for coaches themselves, but for us broadcasters. When do you take them out? When do you say, I don't want to risk any injury, whatever it may be?
Yeah, because really there's, Zealous with another easy layup, nice pass by Lowen. There's really nothing else that you can really leave them out there for. They're up 30, over under 3 minutes for the game.
Lowen has really come on here.
Yeah.
Again, she's been great throughout the game, but she has just picked up her 4th assist in the last 2 minutes.
She is showing why she's going to play at the next level.
Yes.
I always thought she would from the time that I saw her play earlier in her career, the games that I broadcast.
Peyton Smith, who checked in for Musselman. That last layup for the Applemen. Pryor takes it right back.
And now maybe we'll have a rolling timeout and each team maybe kind of empty their bench here.
Well, Coach Potter was waiting. He had 2 more waiting to come in, and there's just no stoppage in play. So he said, I'm going to burn another timeout. Media timeout as well. We'll take it with him. 2:05 left in this one. Cracker Barrel, the old country store located at Kanawha City in Charleston, is proud to sponsor this year's 2024 West Virginia Basketball Championships. From breakfast to dinner, Cracker Barrel has all of your home-style favorites. Speaking of the favorite here in this tournament, the number 1 seed, George Washington, just 2 minutes away from advancing to face the number 4 seed and defending Class Quad A champion, Mohegans from Morgantown High School. Steele out of the break, and it will be Tylee Barton, a 5'7" senior, headed to the free throw line.
Well, Andrew, in this session, the 2 number 1 seeds in their respective classes has flexed their muscles with a big win from East Fairmont in the game we had prior to this one, and now a 30-point lead for the Patriots of George Washington in this game here.
This meeting in the semifinals will be the first time that George Washington and Morgantown have met this season. More substitutions checking in for Coach Tim Potter of Musselman, getting all of his players a little bit of time on the floor this time.
And like you said, you'd like to see that. Obviously, they're not going to win the game. They're so far behind. They're down 32 with 1:46 to go. You want to play everybody that you possibly can, and hopefully that's everybody.
Maya King has checked in. Keely Chrisman, the most recent, and a senior, of course, to check in. Good to see the seniors getting some time on the floor here. Minute 32, some more substitutions coming in for George Washington at the next dead ball.
But the one thing moving forward is George Washington will play Morgantown, as you mentioned, Andrew, in the semifinals. They're going to have to make shots. I mean, you can play good defense and you can do everything that George Washington has done, but it comes down to you eventually you got to put the ball in the basket.
Chrisman, who just checked in with a rebound as a senior.
And I know one game has nothing to do with the next game. And that's a good thing, right? Because, like I said, I think even though George Washington's going to win this game big, and, at tournament time, you just want to win in advance. But you can't worry about, like Smith, if she's 0 for 10, just block that out. It's a whole new day when they play Morgantown.
Musselman trying with all their heart to get Chrisman a bucket. And I think we may get a foul here, but again, as you mentioned, there was not a foul in the fourth quarter until under 4 minutes, so just the third team foul for the Patriots. But still a chance. They'll lob it out top here to Amaya King. Oh, a three put up, no good. Look at the rebound by Kiara Petrie. Now the three fired up, and that one drops for the junior, Kiara Petrie.
That was a rainbow three from the corner.
And a wry smile for Petrie.
Yeah, that might have been a pot of gold at the end of that shot.
Good ball movement from some of the backups here. 3-point opportunity missed for Leah Hostin, I apologize, the sophomore. Now back again, Jada Gunn. Missed opportunity for Kira Ruiz. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and will they get one more shot off? They won't. And that will do it here in the quarterfinal round. The number 1 seed, Patriots, advancing to the semifinals with a 59-30 win over number 8 Musselman. The top seed advances, a great season and a first ever trip for the Lady Applemen. We'll be back after these messages. We'll break it down and have your statistics you're watching. The 2024 West Virginia Girls High School State Tournament on the NFHS Network.